If only I had a weapon, I would take over the punching kick.
That's nothing. I clearly took down the enemy. If we were to keep the score, we'll definitely be higher than me.
If I hadn't thrown the wrong grenade, I'd be eating chicken dinner for sure.
Smoke! Smoke!
What's wrong, guys?
If you don't agree, let's play Ultimate ARENA.
Arguments don't matter. Ultimate Arena decides the victor. Stalemate? No problem. Ultimate Arena decides the victor.
Let's go! Come on, go,
Stalemate? No problem. Ultimate Arena decides the victor.
Sound Location Training System Overview. Hey there, fellow Pubg Mobile players. In Pubg Mobile version 2.1, we've added an all-new sound location training system, which will help players become more aware of their surroundings during a match. In this video, I'll be going over some features of the training system. Accessing the system, tap the icon near the top right corner of the Mode Select page to enter the training grounds. Upon entering, you'll be facing the facility where the sound location training is held. Approach the sign to choose between gunshot training and footsteps training, and tap begin when you're ready. Gunshot training. In gunshot training, you choose the enemy spawn direction, gunshot distance, weapon type, and shooting form. The two main goals of gunshot training are 1. To approximate the position of enemies by listening to their gunshots, and combining this information with character damage indicators and visual cues on the minimap to pinpoint enemy position, and 2. To determine enemy distance based on the loudness of their gunshots, whereby the further away an enemy, the quieter their gunshot will sound. By taking advantage of this feature, you'll be able to approximate the distance of the enemy relative to your position, and act accordingly. When wearing headphones, you'll be able to determine whether shots are fired on the left or right, making it easier to approximate enemy position. If gunshots are fired in front of you or from the back, and you are unable to determine where they're coming from, it might be beneficial to turn to one side and directing the sounds to either the left or the right audio channel. This will greatly help in determining enemy position. Besides gunshot training, you can choose gunshot challenges to test your training progress. There are 3 difficulty levels and an endless mode. Within the allotted time, the system will tally the number of enemies as you eliminate. The higher your score, the better you are at determining gunshots. As the challenge difficulty increases, enemies will spawn further away, become harder to spot, and their gunshots will be more unpredictable. Under the randomized, ever-changing conditions of the training ground, you'll be immersed in lifelike combat scenarios. In endless mode, time is rewarded for defeating enemies. Eliminate enemies to extend the remaining time of the challenge. You're not constrained by a fixed time limit in this mode, so you can fully test the limit of your skills. Footsteps training. In footsteps training, you can choose enemy movement type, positioning, terrain type, and travel route. The key to recognizing footsteps is to familiarize yourself with how they sound at various distances and their direction, particularly in multi-story buildings. When moving in buildings, players can hear the footsteps of other players above and below them. Therefore, understanding the changes of footsteps in vertical spaces would be highly beneficial. Listening to how footsteps get quieter in different spaces will help you identify which floor enemies are on. Additionally, different movements, such as running and crawling, on different surfaces produce distinct sound effects. When you are engaged with enemies in an area with complex terrain, combining the sounds of different footsteps with the footstep markings on the minimap will help you to pinpoint the route of the enemy. The Footsteps Challenge also has 3 different difficulties and an endless mode. Within the allotted time, you'll need to determine enemy positions based on their footsteps and eliminate them. You are scored on the number of enemies you defeat. As challenge difficulty increases, the number of enemies, their movements, and routes change. When enemies appear on different floors and the environmental conditions become more complex, you'll need to listen even more carefully in order to complete the challenge in time. Similarly, the Footsteps Challenge also has an endless mode, in which time is rewarded for defeating enemies. Why not try out endless mode to truly see how much you've improved? That's all for this video. For more details, don't forget to follow the official PUBG Mobile community. See you next time!
And lots of supplies, including a crate with even more valuable supplies. So what's the fastest way to obtain it all while playing solo? The Ruins crate can be obtained in 2 ways. In the Scarab Ruins, you must find and destroy 4 mecha scarabs. In the Jackal Ruins, you have to align the pictures on the center pillar to activate the crate's mechanism. For players that land in a Scarab Ruins, once they find a weapon, they should scope the perimeter of the outer wall to look for mecha scarabs. There's more room to maneuver at the outer wall, which is helpful for evading guardian beasts and mummy warriors, and mounting a counterattack. Plus, there's a high chance of finding a mecha scarab at the outer wall, so you'll make progress in the crate while battling the guards. When landing at a Jackal Ruins, the first order of business will be to eliminate the guardian beasts and mummy warriors. This is because turning the pillar takes time. If you decide to turn the pillar, you'll be open to attack. Typically speaking, 2 types of guards will appear at the Jackal Ruins. Since the ruins are rather cramped, it can be hard to aim at the flying guardian beasts. Thus, it's recommended to grab a weapon and lure them to a more open space to deal with them more effectively. After eliminating the threats, you'll be able to safely turn the pillar and access the crate. Hope everyone finds these tips helpful.